Hey, I'm making another rigging video. This one is a new and improved Opelu Fly. Those first ones that I had were very effective. They worked really well, but they took a while to make. So it took a couple of minutes to make each time, and that was too much. I want expendability when I'm tying these flies. They kind of corrode with the salt because of the hooks. Sometimes you'll get predatored and you'll lose an entire rig. Sometimes you'll drop it too low, you'll hook the bottom. Expendability is key. And Opelu are picky, but not the most picky. So you can get away with using less effort to make flies versus if you're tying flies for making a great presentation on like an OEO or trout or something. But expendability is key. But they also are very picky. So they want their small crustacean, they like the planktonic phase foods. So something that looks like it's trying to be clear, something with a little sparkle. So we went to our Ace Hardware and found some building materials, and I'm gonna show you exactly what we can do. We went and we would buy these glow stretchy glitter beads. These kind of resemble, if you can look closely, those gummies that you would put on other hooks, but I like the durability of having it tied to a fly so that you don't have to rebait every time. So all you're gonna need is some small hooks. These are size 8 Maruto. I like the pink and I like the blue. I like to have a variety. Sometimes they're in a mood, so I'll alternate. And then a clear nylon thread. I like to use this because it makes a clear body, makes it look very planktonic. Here's a little picture of the end results. There are a bunch of these really basic, essentially just the string wrapped around with the clear body. I didn't want to get too intricate because I wanted to pump out as many of these flies as possible. And it takes me about 2 minutes to tie a singular fly, which is really quick. I can pump out as many of these flies as possible and tie 6 fly rigs really quick. And it makes it so that when I lose it to a predator, I don't feel that bad. Okay, now that I'm all set up, I'm gonna show you guys how I tie this fly. I'm not gonna edit it, so I can show you the actual time frame in which it takes me to tie one. I'm gonna make one overhand knot, and I'm gonna make a base layer of this clear thread. It gives it enough body and holds that little wormy in place. We call these gummies because that's pretty much what they are. They turn out to be like little tiny candies for the Opelu. Super basic, super simple. Oop. Went over the hook shank there. I'm gonna unwind a little bit, make sure, okay, there we go. Make the nice little layer. Doesn't have to be pretty. Sometimes the uglier the better. See how the base came back up to the head? I'm gonna trim. I need a pair of scissors. I'm gonna trim this guy real close. And I'm gonna pick one of the colors. I'm gonna use pink. I'm gonna do a little worm about yay long, about an inch. Make sure you're back from the eye, and then you can start wrapping. Make the first few a little loose so that you don't knock it over the back. What's nice here is it keeps the shank entirely open, so when an Opelu eats it, it gets hooked well, keeps the bait alive. That's the big part. You don't want to be fidgeting around with the hook in its mouth for too long, because the livelier the bait fish, the better it's going to perform for you. So now this is up to discretion as how many loops you want. But you just want to make sure that that gummy is going to stay on there for a long time, even when stuff is biting at it. You can do I like to just do like 3 overhand knots here. I don't like to get too fancy, but you can do some other knots. Again, this is about making flies, for me, as fast as possible, because I'm going to lose them as fast as possible at times. And then trim it. And that's it. I'll do one in blue, and I'll show you guys how that looks. And yeah, it's simple. Then we tie a 6-line dabashi, which if you look at one of my older videos, I'll have a little link in it right now. It will show you how I tie that rig as well. Same rig, just the newer flies. These ones much faster to make than the older version. And then a little wormy here. All the stuff that we use to make this is really cheap. Each fly will come out to cost little to no money. Probably the cost of the hook. Because it costs us $10 per spool of the gummies, and we're not even close to getting to it. It's 30 feet long, and if we use an inch each, it's a lot of flies that it will end up being. Sometimes they get in a mood. Sometimes they only want the blue, sometimes they only want the pink. So I wouldn't make just one sabiki of only these. Sometimes they want both. I like to alternate. We joke around, we call it the dabiki. It's when we make a combination, so it's like a damashi and a sabiki rig at the same time. That's just our joke though. See, simple, quick. It works really well. We can tie out a sabiki really quick.